Hello dear students, welcome. First of all, I would like to welcome you all students at Bachelor First Year. So today's class, we are going to introduce Major English course, that is a new direction, reading, writing and critical thinking. The subject code of this course is 417. Here is the layout of the book. I have shown here on the screen, new direction. Especially this course consists of articles, essays, stories and poems. In today's class, we are going to introduce this course, what sort of course is it, and we will start the first chapter of this book. Especially in the first year, reading, writing, critical thinking, students have to read two books here. One, New Direction, that is by Peter S. Gardner. Next one is Writing for Advanced Learners of English, Francois Gerlet. Students have to learn two books here. One is for writing skill, another one is for New Direction, that is for critical thinking aspect. And format of the question for the examination, it is 100 full marks, and pass marks will be 35 and time hours will be 3 hours. There will be two types of question. One is objective, another one is subjective. Objective question will be 20 marks. Two passages are given there and just taking the best answer from the alternatives. In the same way, in the subjective question, 80 marks will be there. That is short question and long question there. Now we start our journey of reading from New Direction, reading, writing and critical thinking. Our first unit, first chapter is intercultural communication. Here, intercultural communication shows between culture, especially between two countries' culture. What kind of cultural scenario are all around the world? We will discuss in this chapter. There is a saying, one proverb: when you are in Rome, do as Romans do. That means cultural activities and cultures varies from place to place, country to country. The theme of this chapter is cross-cultural similarities and differences in values, beliefs and practice, and the conflicts and misunderstanding that arise when people from culture interact. This reading explores such issues as verbal and non-verbal communication, cultural adjustment and concept of fraternity. That is the main idea from this unit. Some questions raised in the chapter 1 here. If you live in another country for an extended period of time, should you embrace the proverb, when you in Rome, do as Romans do? Definitely, when we move into next new country, if we are unknown about the culture there, then what do the people are that country doing? We have to follow them. Are there some similarities or more differences among people around the world in the way they think, behave and communicate? Definitely there are differences in comparison to the similarities. So much more differences all around the world about the people who think differently, who behave differently and who communicate very differently here. And our first lesson is American Values and Assumption by Gary Althen. Especially this is an essay. This essay was written by Gary Althen. In this essay, the writer has discussed 9 central values of U.S., United States. What sort of cultural values are prevalent in America, in the United States? Gary Althen has presented through this essay. The main purpose of writing this essay is to make the people aware of American culture. What sort of cultures are prevalent in America? What is their values and norms in American society? The writer has presented here by Gary Althen. So now, being based on it, we are going to discuss about. Well, in this essay, Gary Althen focuses on 9 central values and assumptions shared by the majority of people living in the United States. The writer contrasts this cultural pattern with those or other nations and describe the types of problems and misunderstanding that can occur when people from different culture with diverse beliefs and perception interact, especially when one country, one people from one country, when he moves to another country, if he goes in U.S.A., that person should know the values and assumption of the United States. If the person lacks the understanding of cultures of that country, then there arises misunderstanding, cultural problems and cultural misunderstanding occur there. To solve the problem of cultural misunderstanding is to get familiar with the cultural scenario of that country. So in this essay, Gary Alden focuses on the cultural activities, the cultural matters, the cultural scenario of American society with diverse beliefs and perception and interaction regarding in US culture. Gary Alden has described these cultural diverse beliefs using 9 central values. So here, Gary Alden focuses on American values and assumption. The first American values and assumption, that is individualism. The most important thing to understand about American is probably their devotion to individualism. They are trained from early age in their views to consider themselves as separate individuals who are responsible for their own situation in life and their own destinies. That is, most of the American people, they are individualistic in their nature. They believe in individualism in American society. Then the second values of American society is individualistic. American naturally neutrally see themselves as beings in competition with others. They believe in competition. Competitiveness pervades the society. It is obvious in the interaction given to athletic events and star athletics who are praised for being real competitors. So here, especially American culture, American people, they believe in competition, although they are individualistic in their nature. Then next values is privacy. Privacy is also closely associated with the major American values, that is individualism. Americans assume that people need some time to themselves or some time alone to think about things or to recover their spent psychological energy. Here, American people, they believe in privacy here. Next point is equality. Americans are also insensitive in the degree to which they believe in the ideal existed in their Declaration of Independence, that all men are created equal. They believe in equality. They do not so biasness each other. They always favor equality here. That is their values and assumption. Next one is informality. Especially American people are informal in their behavior, informal in their dresses as well. The sense of equality makes the Americans to be informal. They use slang to address each other. They attend the public ceremonies even in casual dress. They are in informality in their nature, in their behavior too. The next values and assumption is the future change and progress. Most of the Americans ignore the past and focus on future. Look ahead is their main slogan. They never regret for the past but see the future. Besides, they believe in change through the effort of the people. They believe that time is under the control of human beings, so they always look forward, far-sighted nature, that is future change and progress. The next assumption, next values of American society is time there. For Americans, motion is progress and labor is money. They appreciate the people who make well use of time and well organized. People get socially respect. They believe that time is a resource and money. They never waste their time. They always try their best to move according to the time. They never waste the time. That is their culture and that is their values there. Then we have next point is American peoples, they believe in achievement, action, work, and materialism. Most of the American society, they are highly based on materialistic tendency there. Americans are hardworking people who believe in their action to achieve their goal. They are materialistic people who work hard for materialistic prosperity. So they believe in materialism. Materialistic concept has been born in American society. Then next assumption is directedness and assertiveness. The Americans are open-minded and they speak directly to others. Besides, they are clever and devoted to their works. They never hide their feelings. Whatever they see, they express directly. So that kind of uh, cultural values and assumption in American uh, society, in American culture. We start from individualistic nature. They believe in privacy. They believe in time there, competition there, and achievement, action, work, and materialism, and directive and assertiveness. So Overall, throughout this essay, Gary Althen has described about American culture using 9 central values and assumptions of America. These values and assumptions shows that America is a typical land in the arena of the world. It has vast treasure of culture there. People have different types of style and culture, and they have different types of nature, from that individualistic and detectiveness and assertiveness. This kind of natures are there prevalent in American culture. Gary Alden has described uh, idea here in this essay. Thus, we can say American place an emphasis on individualism, believing they should take responsibility for themselves. In addition, they are inclined to be competitive with others. They believe that goals can be attained through hard work. Americans are usually more open and prefer to be direct. The most important thing to understand about American is probably their devotion to individualism, independence and personal freedom, privacy and communication style. Here, Gary Alden has put forward this idea. Now we have one question is here. Explain what a visitor to your country should know in order to avoid intercultural misunderstanding. Well, we discuss about American values and assumption. Here, Gary Alden has put forward 9 central values of American culture. Being based on this lesson, there is one question. Explain what a visitor to your country should know in order to avoid intercultural misunderstanding. For this answer, in order to avoid intercultural misunderstanding, a visitor any foreign country should know the variation in values, morals, and assumptions within the same cultural society. A visitor on my country should know the following things. Here in our country, Nepal, we can one visitor should know the following things. People are open-minded. That is, we don't emphasize more on privacy and individualism. We don't think each one is independent. Guests are treated like a god. All the people should show respect and a great concern to parent and children. If you are living with a family, you are supposed to behave like a member of that family. We emphasize on formal behavior in our workforce. So that is the things we need to understand. We need to know in order to avoid intercultural misunderstanding from our country. So here, from this lesson, American values and assumption, from this lesson we also get to know that due to the misunderstanding, due to not knowing about the culture of the country, there occur intercultural misunderstanding. To avoid intercultural misunderstanding, one person should know the culture of the country that he or she is going there. So, dear students, I hope you got the concept. In today's class, we discussed the first chapter, Intercultural Communication, and the first lesson, American Values and Assumption. This essay was written by Gary Alden. Gary Alden has put forward the idea that American culture, he put forward that there are 9 central values of American society. I hope you got the concept. If you have any confusion, don't forget to ask me. You can put a comment forward there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Versatile Learning Network. Hope to meet you in our next class. See you. Take care.